All right. Hi. Hey, America. This is Mike and Noelle Leventovich coming to you live from Louisville, Kentucky, home of the Kentucky Derby, baby.
Not
Uh,
for not till
well,
September.
not this. Well, yeah, it got postponed, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Um, so I know we got people from all parts of the country here. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We are making accommodations across the country, and we're fired up to be here tonight. So, you want to say anything real quick?
Hey, if you're here checking things out, you heard about this program where we need help, and there's good things happening in our economy. If you look for the right things in certain sectors, we're here to share some of that good news. We do need some help. We hope you learn a little bit, and we're going to just try to give you a good introduction to what's going on and some of the tools that we're working with to get out there and be part of the stimulating parts of the economy that need the help, and how we can be a good community player in what we're doing.
Absolutely. And so this is our back deck, our backyard. Maybe you can see it back there. What we want to do is just share a little bit about our background, how we got started with the Alliance, and maybe you can relate. And you know, and then we'll share more about what the Alliance is all about. So just a little bit about my background. So Mike and I were newlyweds when I saw this business. We were celebrating our 1 year anniversary. The previous 12 months to that, I had gotten laid off from 2 corporate jobs right out of college. And I was very frustrated. I don't know if anyone else out there has been ever laid off from a job before, but right sized, downsized, upside down, whatever. But I was struggling trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I was very empty on the inside in my work life. I felt like I wasn't accomplishing anything. And I was trying to figure out if I needed to go back to school, get more education, or what. Well, I settled for a job where I was recruiting. I was doing cold calls, recruiting for a company. That company, we had to do 200 cold calls a day. So I don't know if anyone else out there has done cold calls. I'm sure there are, but it's very frustrating talking to people who don't want to talk to you. That was okay. I didn't want to talk to them either, but I wasn't going to make any money because that was the first commission type business I did, and I hated that. I hated the cold calling. I loved the people I worked with though, and my husband Mike was an electrical engineer. Loved what he did, just capped out where he could go income wise. So frustrated with that. And we were living in a fixer upper. We're not living there anymore, clearly. But we were struggling trying to figure out, we didn't have kids at the time, but financially, we just didn't feel like we were in a spot to be able to have kids and then be able to afford our own home and make our own mark out there. So one day when I was at that recruiting company, a guy by the name of Alex Abian, one of my dearest friends, he popped his head up over the cubicle next to me and he asked me if I wanted to make some money. Kind of like how some people here, you've been invited by somebody you knew, or maybe you responded to an ad, or maybe you met somebody somehow, but you got on here or you joined with us somehow, some way. For me, it was somebody I knew. I worked with them. And thank God he asked me that question because I said yes. I was like, yeah, I want to make some money. He said, we're going to go to see this insurance business. And I said, okay, cool. And he said, we're going to drive 9 hours to go and see it. And I was like, okay, cool. And I talked to my husband, Mike. I went home and I said, Mike, I'm going to check out this insurance business. And what did you say?
I said, no, you go right ahead. You jump in.
He's like, no.
Anything to do with it.
No, he said he didn't want to be a nerd.
Yeah.
I asked him if he looked in the mirror today. Just kidding. But I did. He could have stopped me, but he didn't. And I did get into a van and I drove 9 hours overnight one way to Raleigh, North Carolina from Ohio, where we were living at the time. And I met a guy that showed us this opportunity that day. His name was Andy Albright. And thank God Alex invited me to do this. And I met Andy and I got very excited about what I saw. I saw an opportunity to do something. I saw an opportunity to make money and be able to help people. But I also saw somebody that believed I could do it too. And that's what Andy Albright has done for me. I always believed that he thought I could do it. And he thinks you can do it too. And so do we. And we turned around that same night, drove back, and I got my life insurance license. I had to do a live class, sitting in a classroom, a weekend course. but I got it very quickly. And don't worry, we'll teach you how to get your life insurance license if you're not already licensed. We'll help you with that. And I started helping families out and made my first paycheck, $283. I was like, Mike, they paid me. They paid me. We're going to be rich.
Yeah.
And he thought I was crazy. And then what happened for you, buddy?
So I saw her come back next week. She had another paycheck, $300 some. A week later, another paycheck. And I'm sitting here thinking, hold on a second. She might have sold 1 or 2 policies to friends and family, but she was having more paychecks come in. And I was like, but they're coming in from people that she sold beyond friends and family. I was like, who are you selling to? And so when I realized that she was helping people out that had sent these responses, and they were asking for help, I was like, hold on a second. I could do that too. So I jumped in and got my license. I got into class right away after that 3rd week. I was like, I could do that too. It finally clicked that this wasn't based on me having to market to a bunch of friends and family or walking up and down the street to do this. It was something where I could work and build something on a system of responses. Like, that makes sense. So I started helping families outside of my job on a Saturday, on a weeknight, on a Sunday. I was just looking for a side hustle, extra income. And I found I was bringing in $300, $500, $800 in a week. And one week I brought in, well, between the two of us, it was $1,300 in 1 week. We're like, hey, wait a second, this is real money. And this is on the side. And after we started to do the math, it's like, okay, hang on a second. What if we went full time? What would that look like? So we quickly, about 3 months later, went full time and have gone on to build a business that's really give us a lot of options and flexibility.
Yeah.
And more importantly, in a time like this, it's given us some kind of stability. Like, we're not freaking out about losing everything we've got. We've still got a market. We've still got an income. And as somebody told me once, this business is depression proof. It's recession proof. It's succession proof. I mean, you name it. And we can tolerate a lot of things. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about that, about why we still feel very empowered. And is there scary things happening? Yeah, there's scary things happening, but we're not scared.
Yeah.
I think that's important. We're still moving.
I think the interesting thing, a lot of times people think a commission position or an insurance position, oh, it's not stable income. And I'm like, yes, it is for people that follow the system and work it. And we're going to explain what to do here. But if you follow it and work it like Andy has it laid out, it is a very stable and growing income for people that do that. And quite frankly, I feel very stable with everything going on in the world today. I feel very stable with our income coming in and continuing to grow. So we're going to get into that and we're going to share that with you. So
exactly. So as you hear, a couple things we want to cover. So what is the Alliance, right? We're a marketing company and we're out there helping families with different financial needs. We're working with major billion-dollar insurance companies like Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, Foresters, AIG. These companies, they're paying out claims quickly when there's a death or other need. These companies are accepting applications still and approving people, and these companies pay you commissions to help get families enrolled in their programs. So that's a big thing. With the Alliance, we put you in a position to go out and create a part-time income if that's what you're looking for. If you just said, hey, right now I've lost hours or I'm concerned, I need a secondary income, great. We can help you with that. You might be thinking, Mike, I've lost everything. I've lost my job, or I don't know how my job is going to respond with this economy, and I need something I can start from scratch and get building on. Guess what? We've got people that will run out there full-time and do some big things and earn $50,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year by serving families and helping them get enrolled in the programs that we're working with. And yes, I did say $300,000, $350,000, $400,000. Some of our top end agents are earning even right now. Then we've got folks who have gone on to build a business. They said, hey, I like what we're doing. I like teaching agents, I like training agents. I'd like to build a sales team or a sales organization. And there's other levels of compensation that we call override income that are passive in nature. So at the Alliance, we show you how to do that. And there's really 3 big things we bring to the table to help you do that. One is assist with these big insurance companies, like we mentioned. They're out there, they're coming up with the products. We then have a system of leads or responses, and we'll get into that in more detail here. We'll show you some of what we're talking about, where people are saying, yes, I need your help. Can you please get me information and get me enrolled in your program? And then there's a system of training, support, camaraderie that's there to help you learn this craft, right? There's a lot to learn. I won't tell you it's absolutely easy. There's work involved. You're going to have to learn some stuff. You're going to make some mistakes. I promise that. Okay. If you say, what's the catch? That's one of the catches. There's work, and you're going to have to learn stuff. So let's not kid each other, right? There's work involved. So, but there is a system and a source of learning to help you figure it out and help you. So those are a few big, massive things. Now, as we get rolling, we talk about the market. What is this market that we're in? And the first thing I can tell you is the market we've got it's massive, and it's gotten bigger since we first started. We talked about mortgage protection because there's about 90 million homeowners in the United States, and about 80% of them have a mortgage. And of those people, about 60% don't own individual life insurance, which you think about that, that's a big number. And so these people, if they lose their jobs, well, guess what? A lot of people they've lost their life insurance. We help them out with individual policies that don't get canceled with their job. So if they die or have a heart attack or stroke, their family's got money to pay their mortgage, cover their mortgage payments, keep the family in the house. That's a big deal. Here's another big market for us. A lot of these seniors that have now lost their jobs, right? Because they retired. I said lost, but they've retired. They left their job. They're now in a position like, well, I don't have no more of that life insurance in my job. And they're thinking, but wait, I know it costs money to have a funeral or a cremation. Cremation, we've had parents go through cremation, about $6,000. A funeral with burial and everything else, so you're looking at probably like 9, 10, 12, or if you got a marching band and you do a New Orleans style, you got 15, 20,000, right? Yeah. But it costs money to take care of that. And guess what? A lot of these people have not set aside that money. And so that's a big thing. But if you look at what's going on today, all of a sudden you look at the mortality rate of 80-year-olds that catch this virus that's out there, the mortality rate's 20%. Suddenly, the urgency in our market has gone through the roof. Like people are, I want to say, deathly concerned,
They're
literally
concerned
about what are we going to do? And they're responding to our market in a huge way. So this final expense market is it's a very pressing need right now. It's very much on the top of people's minds. I just saw another news article or heard something about how doctors and medical workers are getting their wills done and they're checking up on their life insurance and getting their beneficiaries in line before they're going to work at these hospitals. Why? Because they're not sure if they're going to come out. These are the people that are serving it, right? So it's very much on people's minds. And so we've got a chance to help a lot of them. All right, another big market for us is retirement protection. Along with this crisis, guess what? A lot of people have money in mutual funds through their IRAs, through their 401ks, and guess what? They've seen their money go down.
Yeah. And they're uncertain what's happening, if it's going to keep going down, right?
Right.
They're scared.
And here's the beautiful thing from our perspective, the clients that we've helped prior to this crisis through retirement protection programs, not a single one of our clients has lost a dime. And we have a source of pride about knowing that anybody that we've helped over the last 3, 4, 5 years, their money is safe. And if they're calling us, we get to say, hey, guess what? The program we put in place, it's done its job. You've not lost any money. It's all still there. All your gains are locked in.
Zero is your hero.
That's right. And so that's a big deal, especially compared to the people that are maybe seeing drops of 25 and 30 and 35% all in the span of 30 days. So having retirement protection, and there's people that are still wanting to protect their money now in case things get even worse. So that's another sense of urgency we have around that area. We've got other markets we're working in. The senior healthcare market is another big piece. These same seniors, guess what? They're signing up for Medicare at age 65, but Medicare sadly doesn't cover everything. It doesn't take care of all their needs. And what's happening with healthcare costs? Continue to go up. So these seniors are needing to enroll in products like Medicare supplements and Medicare Advantage and hospital indemnity programs. We work with all three. And so you have the ability, as we build a relationship and helping somebody out with their final expense protection, and they learn to trust you, we now can help them out in other ways that's extremely meaningful and important to them. And that's where we need your help. So if you're a passionate and compassionate and empathetic person, and you have a desire to truly help people and do the right thing, we need your help in this crusade right now.
Absolutely.
So that's a big part of the market. Now, here's another big thing. With a market this big, it takes insurance companies with a lot of capital that can handle it. And that's where we're partnered up with companies like a Mutual of Omaha. Company's been around for 110 years. Their brand is out there. If you talk to any senior, they know Mutual of Omaha because they remember it back from the days of Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, which is a TV show they've sponsored for years, even as they brought it back to Animal Planet. They've seen their brand out there, sponsoring the U.S. Olympic swim team, sponsoring the NC2A baseball, college baseball World Series. They've seen that on a regular basis, and so they know this brand. And here's a great thing. Mutual of Omaha came to us 10 years ago needing some more distribution in their life products. And we jumped on board with them, and within 5 months, we'd become Mutual of Omaha's #1 distribution partner. And just a great working relationship we've built up over the 10 years we've been working with them because of that. Here's another big name, Foresters. Some of you, if you're new to the business, you're new to this broadcast, you're like, who's Foresters? Very quiet company. Been around for 147 years. Multinational company serving families in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom. And we started doing business with them in late in 2005. Within 3 months, we've become their #1 distribution channel. And we've been their #1 distribution partner every year for the last 15 years. And so it's a partnership like that with Foresters where our leaders know their leaders. And to say that, there's never a problem in business, that would be a lie, right? There's always problems. But the beautiful thing is when there is a problem, we've got a chance to get a hold of somebody that can help us solve it pretty quickly and efficiently. So we love having that with Foresters. So that's a big thing about the market. We're going to get in and show you a little bit on kind of how we do things and the tools that we're using. Noelle, you want to jump in on this?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we have partnerships with these companies, these big names you've heard of. And Andy has created a system for us to work together with these companies. And so we're going to share a little bit about what this system is. It's kind of like something that's been duplicated across the country in the sense of like a McDonald's or a Chick-fil-A or a Pizza Hut or something like that, to where no matter where you are across the country, you know what the system is and you have a team backing you and supporting you. So I'm going to share a little bit about what that is. And it all starts with our Alliance Playbook. You may not be able to see this on the screen, but everybody that are agents with us get a copy of the playbook. And it's just one sheet. It's laminated, so it's important. But it's one sheet on why do we exist? How do we behave? What will we do? How will we succeed? All on one page, so that everybody across the country that's working with us knows exactly what we're about. This isn't just a mission statement. This is what we believe in. This is what we stand for. And I'm not going to cover everything, but I will cover a few things. And it's, why do we exist? We say to have a piece of the pie. Prosperity, inspiration, eternity. We say having a piece of the pie means prosperity, meaning if we help people prosper, then other people will then we will prosper too. It's serving other people like us that want to do big things, that want to help people. Inspiration. Well, we travel the world and we let people know that there is more to do. There's more to see, more to give, more to share, more to care about. There's more out there for us as individuals, and we want to be an inspiration to people all across the country, and giving to different causes and seeing different things and doing different things. And then we say eternity. Well, we want to hear, hey, we did a good job, right? Eventually all of us are going to pass away from this great earth. And I wanted to know, remember I said I was drifting, I had an empty feeling. I wanted to know that what I was doing here mattered, that I was making a positive impact for future generations and to come. And that's what the Alliance is doing, and all that stuff that Mike was talking about with our market. And it is important what we do. We are licensed professionals with the state to do what we do. It's a big deal. And I have a very big sense of pride for that, because not everybody can do what we're doing right now in the insurance business. So, and then I do want to cover real quickly our 8 core values. We have 8 core values. It's excellence, service, integrity, accountability, respect. You've probably heard of those 5 before in other companies, but the last 3 are big. All of them are big, but the last 3, compassion, community, and gratitude. Everything we do lands on gratitude. I'm thankful I'm in this opportunity. I'm thankful I get to serve other people. And I'm thankful that I live in the USA in this great environment to do it in. I'm grateful for the Alliance and what it's given back to me. So Andy put together a whole book on his 8 core values. It's called The House of Values and Behaviors. I don't know about you, but I've never known a company before that's written a whole book based on their 8 core values. So that's a big deal. That's a big part of what we do. Then we have the 8 Steps to Success. This is the first book that we have agents read, that people get started with us. This is my copy. It's kind of a little bit worn out. I don't know if you can see the highlights and the tabs, but if you do all 8 steps in this book, there's no doubt you can make over 6 figures. Okay. There are key steps in here though. Like step 2 is the work word, which is sometimes difficult. What's the work for our business? We run 20 plus appointments a week, 20, 25, 30 appointments a week. If you're full-time with us, that's what you would be doing. Scheduling that many appointments and sitting down with as many families as you can to help them out like that. If you're part-time, it'd be about half that amount. And so that's the work part of we do, calling people and sitting down with families. That's a big key for what we're doing. And then we have the Millionaire Maker Manual. It's a manual for this business. It's a guide for what we do. This is my copy. I've highlighted. It's a manual, how we do what we do, how Andy's created multimillionaires in this business that follow the system, that it's laid out in here for you. If you follow this guide and reference this, there's no doubt in my mind that you can make over $1 million plus doing this business and working with the clients the way Andy has set it out. And then the other piece of our business is Inside the Circle View is maybe the most difficult book, at least for me anyway, because I can't control any of the other stuff going on around me. I can't control my dog or my kids, can't even control my husband, but I can control what I'm thinking, my attitude and my actions and what I'm going to do. Right. And that I do want to tell you about Andy's coin on that. What you do, he's got a whole coin about it. It's how do I get, what do you want? You determine what you want. And then how do I get it? And you lay it out, simple, clear goals. So that was a big piece for me. I wanted to know that I had a system or somebody backing me that I could kind of just step into it and learn the system and duplicate it. And that's what Andy's created. The other piece to our business is we have meetings or training sessions that go on around the country, across the country. Now, some of these currently with the current virus situation have gone to Zoom sessions, but we're still doing these trainings every week. In fact, this is one of them on a Zoom, but when we get back to the normal world in a couple months or whatever, we're going to be doing our live training sessions. That's where a team gets together and you learn from each other, you grow from each other, and that's a big part of our community and what we're doing. A lot of it has gone online right now, but it will come back to where the community's coming back together, because that's where we're at our best, when we're with our community. And Mike's going to talk about the rest on the.
All right, here we go. So first thing is, what am I wearing? So we did a costume change here.
What is this?
All right, so you're wondering, in fact, maybe we should go ahead and do this. We'll pull this back in here.
Hold on. I don't know.
All right. So for those of you who wonder, people are saying, hey, man, can you do this? How are you going in and making this happen? I think it's about as far as I can zoom in. But in case you're wondering, the governors in every state have said we are essential. And I'm not saying I'm anything special, but the government's decided I'm an essential worker. And if you look at any of the edicts, and you can look at any
if you're a licensed professional, you are in an essential business right now, helping families across the country. So that's right. Your Ron Burgundy t-shirt.
That's right. As Ron Burgundy says, I'm no big deal, but the government says I'm essential. And it's been put in writing despite the clampdowns, the shelter-in-place orders. We've been asked to be helping out to make sure people are protected, to make sure claims are delivered, and make sure people's policies are in place, whether it's on the Medicare supplement side or we're helping out on the life insurance side. Both are critical to a lot of families. So we're kidding, but we're not kidding about the seriousness of what we're doing. And
we're having fun, making money, and making a difference.
That's right.
What we're doing.
So coming back to more on how we do it, we said we've got people looking for protection. We manufacture responses. One of the things we have is we have a mail house or several mail houses that send out letters to people.
Here, I'll open that up.
You open that
up.
Okay. And these letters coming into people who they've got a recent mortgage or that we think are in age 50 plus that might be thinking about what we call final expense protection, the need to cover their funeral costs. People are then open up the letter.
And then they read it, which is weird.
Some of them do.
Well, some of them throw it in the trash. Let's get real. But some of them read it. And what they read is this. This one says, Dear John, public records indicate that you have a mortgage with X bank. As a recent new homeowner, you may qualify to purchase our mortgage life and disability coverage with no physical exam. This non-medical privilege terminates in 18 months after the close of escrow. By acting now, you can still take advantage of your new homeowner status and lock in special low rates for your entire mortgage without an exam. Talks about life insurance, and it talks about it's going to cost you something.
That's right. And people are responding. And so we've got, when they respond, they're giving us a lot of personal information. Their date of birth, their gender, their height, their weight, their tobacco use, their home phone, their cell phone, and a signature saying, hey, yeah, please call me. I have an interest in what you're doing. So direct mail is one of our mediums that works. We're also running TV ads. With our TV ads, we've got folks that are seeing the TV ad talking about final expense. They're seeing the toll-free number and they're calling up and they're giving a lot of information over the phone. They're giving a code word or a hobby so that when we call them back, they know it's us and we start to engage with them and book an appointment. Also, with the technology that's out there, with social media, we have another source of advertising that happens on social media that people are responding to. They're sending us responses. We are getting them and we are calling these people as fast as they respond. We're waiting for their responses to come in, giving them a call and booking appointments. So that's a big part of what we do. Now, having this system is what gives us the demand and gives us the certainty to say, hey, yes, we've got a way to get out there and be in business every day, even right now. It is crazy. As we said, the media is doing a wonderful job of advertising for us. They're keeping death and sickness on top of people's minds. And while I wish that this virus wasn't here, it's the reality that's there, and it's our job to help give these people some peace of mind. Some people are out buying toilet paper. Some people are out buying life insurance. Some people are buying both. And that's okay. We're going to do our job to help people get what they want.
Hey, there's a Forbes article out there. Go look it up that says that people are instead they're hoarding toilet paper, but they're also hoarding life insurance and want more protection. So it's a big deal what we're doing.
Exactly right. So now you're thinking, okay, so what's it like? So when we're booking an appointment, how are we dealing with this, with what's going on now? Well, the first thing is there's some places where there isn't a shutdown order. So we're able to go out and meet people. And even if there is a shutdown order, the governors have said we are essential workers and they need us to go out there and do our jobs. And so they need us to meet people in a sanitary way that we're out there helping connect them, helping them get what they need and want. Now, if a client is absolutely afraid of us coming in, well, our secondary way of doing an appointment is what we call a proximity appointment. We're saying, for your benefit, Sue, we're not going to go into your house. We're not going to breathe on you. We're not going to come anywhere close to you, but we are going to make sure that you can see our credentials through a window. We're going to make sure we can see your driver's license through a window. And then we're going to sit down in our car or on a stool outside your house, and we'll talk to you on the phone and talk you through stuff. And if there's a document that needs to be signed, we'll lay it on your door. You can pick it up and sign it, and then we can have it. But by us seeing that you're still alive and that you're not on a ventilator, we can get you some better rates and better programs, and you'll see us and know that we're real, okay? So that's one of the things that we're doing. If we can't actually meet face-to-face in their home, we don't want them to feel uncomfortable. Here's the next thing we're doing. We're doing some telesale appointments. So if a person's like, no, don't come over. The boogeyman's been here, and I don't want, hey, I don't need to be there either.
Or if you're immune compromised, certainly you can do telesales or videos, kind of like what we're doing here, where you get together with the client on a video session.
That's right. We have some agents who maybe their immunization system is compromised and they don't need to be near anybody, but they still want to work. Maybe they're completely shut down and just they know they can't leave, and that's okay too. And we can use your help. And so in doing that, by us needing your help, here's the next big thing I can tell you is that we can do stuff like telesales. And so the essence of our appointment, we have a guide. Now, if you're doing business face to face, we literally set this up on a table, or if you're sitting there in some front of someone's door and doing this through a door, we might still use this because it's got some things that help us build credibility with the client, but it walks us through, it acts as a guide to keep us on track. And if you're having to do a telesale, well, you can put it in front of yourself so you kind of follow on a path of the platform of the appointment. Or if you're doing a Zoom session, we have a version of this that you can use with your client so you can share your screen or see your screen and see your face at the same time. So we're pretty innovative in how we're working with clients. Now, somebody asked me the other day, said, Mike, if these seniors can't figure out how to turn off their VCR they got 20 years ago, how are they going to figure out how to do a Zoom session?
Or put a battery in the smoke detector.
Yeah, they can't figure out how to put a battery in the smoke detector. How are they going to handle Zoom? Well, we have some products that we can literally do over the telephone by confirming their information and getting them enrolled without them having to physically sign a piece of paper or physically open it up.
We have ways. If you're a worker, we have ways you can win in this, okay? And ways that keep you protected, keep your clients protected, and everybody is doing it in the right ways, okay?
That's a big deal. So this guide is there to help you. The key is that we have a system, but the bigger thing we want you to know is that even in the crazy world we've got now, even with a crazy system, with situation we've got now, what we know is that we've got ways that you can still win in helping serve families in a big way. Now, as you're out there and you're doing the work, guess what? We've got a system to help you track things. We talked about what is the work. It's booking 20 or 25 or 30 or 35. Or one of my buddies, his paycheck this week was $24,000. My buddy Paul Menachino.
This week.
It's because he's been booking 40 appointments a week the last couple of weeks. So if you want to work at that level, you're invited to, even in a national shutdown. So we track the basics of what we're doing. We track how many calls we make, how many people answer, how many appointments we book. We track how many families we sit with, how many we help, how much premium. And tracking these numbers allows you to get better. The other part of this book is a calendar to help you know what you're doing and be thinking about your time and how you're spending it. So those are powerful tools. Now, for me, as you're thinking longer term, one of the big things for me that really fired me up about the program is that we have a promotion guide, and it's in writing, and it's there for you to know where you're at and how to move up. And the fact that it's in writing is, it's a beautiful thing, so that if you're wondering, what do I got to do for my next promotion? Well, there's no questioning. It's not based on who your mama was or which president you voted for or didn't vote for or who your favorite basketball team is. We don't care.
It's not even how long you've been with the company.
Yeah, you can move all the way up to the agency manager level in your second month if you've met the requirements for agency manager within your first 2 months.
It's based on what you do.
It's exactly right. So everybody's got the ability to be promoted quickly. Now, next big thing for us, people say, hey, how's the money work? How do you get paid? Now, the simple answer is, on average, you're going to earn about $300 or $400 or $500 every time you help a family out. Now, if it's a bigger deal, you get paid more. If it's a smaller deal, you get paid less. And we have a grid that actually shows you exactly how every commission is calculated. You can get a copy of this. If you're invited to this Zoom, I'm not going to break down the numbers here, but it's in writing. It's in our New Agent magazine.
Yeah, show them the front of that.
In fact, if you haven't seen this, we can get you a PDF copy or a mail copy of this, but in this magazine, you get one page past the centerfold, and this is all broken down. There's more details on our website as you're an agent that's with us.
Promotion guidelines are in that too.
Yeah, promotion
and
guide.
I think our trip thing is in that, right?
That's right, it is. Well, it is, but we also got it here.
I'm excited.
Talk about our trip.
Let's talk about our trip.
We'll talk about trip. All right. Well, I want to get the money part down first. So, so the key is that on the money side, when you go out and you help a family, she likes to travel.
I love it.
All right, but we want you to know you can go out there and earn $300, $400, $500 per family. As you get earning higher commission levels, that dollar amount goes up. And we have some bigger deals, like these things called annuities, where we're protecting people's retirement money. Where when you're helping people protect their money, you might get paid $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for a deal for helping. Giving somebody some peace of mind on a bigger account. Now, here's another big thing about compensation. Everything we've talked about has been the first time you get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one thing that fires me up.
I like to get paid more than once.
That's right. If you're like me or my wife and you're ambitiously lazy, You're going to like this program
Are you
because
calling me ambitious and lazy?
I'm
Oh,
calling you
okay, right.
ambitious. I'll take credit for the
Oh,
lazy
okay,
part.
good.
Okay. So, but if that resonates with you, I like to get paid more than once when I do something, if it's at all possible. And with a lot of our products, we have this thing called renewals. So as a client continues to keep their policy after the first year, the insurance companies continue to pay a little bit every month. They make a premium payment. That's awesome. It happens the same with what we call these Medicare supplements and Medicare Advantage programs. You might get $200 or $150 for a deal, but the cool thing is you get paid every year that same amount, even though you only had to enroll them once. So if you like the concept of passive income and you're building a blended business, you can build a very strong passive income just through your renewals. Now, in addition to going out and earning a strong income, so what's it look like if you're helping or booking 20 families a week? Our ratios are like 3-2-1. So if you book 20 families, you're probably going to sit down with 12 or 13 or 14. Okay, you're not going to sit down with everybody. Something's going to happen. Okay, and on average, our agents are helping about half of the people they sit down with. So you might help out 6 or 7 families if you book 20 appointments if you're average. Now, at first, you'll be worse than average. As you get better with us, you'll be above average. So just kind of accept that part. But the good news is you'll get better as you're booking 20 appointments every week. And if you're out there helping 5 or 6 families a week, here's what I know. You're going to be on a run rate where you're earning $100,000 a year. And as you choose to step up to 25 or 30 appointments a week, and your commission levels grow and your renewals grow, that's how we see agents starting to hit the $100,000, $150,000, $200,000, $300,000 a year level based solely on their personal production. Now, some people want to build a sales team and build this thing called overrides. That was certainly big for us, big for her. We like having more passive income. If you've got the patience and the work ethic to train and support somebody else and guide them and coach them and be their friend as they're learning this program, the rewards are pretty good for that too.
And there's a community or a team to help you do that, so you don't have to know everything out of the gate. We will teach you and teach somebody you bring on right now. So and that guy is that person you hire is yours. We'll just help coach and train him. Kind of like when Alex and I got started, we were both not licensed, and at the same time, we took our tests on the same day. But Alex was creating an override on business that I wrote, and he's been continuing to do that for the last 20 years based on what I've done and also what our organization has done. And that's continuing to happen. That's the override income Mike's talking about. So I just want to be clear that you don't have to know everything right away. You can start that now because we're looking for more people.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely are looking for more people. And, you say, what can you do with a $200,000 a year income? Now, some of you might be thinking, maybe you've been hit in the gut here in the last couple of weeks, and you're just thinking, I can't think that big. I just need to worry about paying my bills. I just need to be worried about paying my kids' tuition. I don't know where you're at right now, but the first thing I'll tell you is if you'll get to work and you get your license, we can get you to a point where you could, be surviving. But the biggest thing I can get you to think about is thinking past surviving, because we will survive this. You will survive this, and get you to think about thriving.
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 We got some people on the call that are thriving.
We do. And we'll talk about some rewards of thriving. We've been able to do some amazing things because of this program.
Did we talk about the trips
You
yet?
will too. We haven't. We're just about to. You want to talk about the trips. Go ahead and talk about your favorite trips the last couple of years.
My favorite trip? I mean, just last year we went to Paris and Switzerland. That was amazing. All expense paid trips for you and your family, or you and a guest. And it's all expense paid, these insurance companies, and they put us all up on these major trips. And I remember my favorite trip was probably to Italy and Greece. But, I don't want to talk about Italy right now, but it is a gorgeous place. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you what. Our next trip coming up, though, is Thailand.
That's right. So if you haven't heard, next year we're going to Phuket, Thailand, and then we're headed over to Chiang Mai. Yeah, that's right. Phuket, Thailand. And so we'll be in Phuket, which is down on the coast, and then we'll be up there around these elephant sanctuaries in Chiang Mai. And hey, guess what? It's in writing on what you got to do to qualify. We have an unlimited number of slots, so meaning as many people as hit the bogey, which is 125,000 points to get to Phuket, and 220,000 points to get the extension, which means Phuket and Chiang Mai. And we've got people that have already earned it, and it's only the middle of March or almost the end of March.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk. And here was some crazy stuff going on economically. So if you're thinking, oh man, that's just a pipe dream, no, you could get your license and you could be qualified to go. Even with the craziness going on, you could be hanging on beaches of the world with us next year.
Let's get to some of our guests. We have some guests here. We have some newer people that are just getting started with us, and then we have people that have been with us for a little bit longer. So you want to start with Dion?
Yeah, Dion, if you don't mind, Dion, can you go ahead and open up your video and unmute your microphone? Let's let people know a little bit about who you are.
These are people that are doing it all across the country that are meeting with these clients and helping them out. So we want you to share a little bit, Dion. Go ahead.
All right, Dion. Hey, buddy. All right, why don't you tell everybody where you live and maybe what your primary career has been until maybe this week?
I'm Dion. I'm from Russellville, Kentucky. My primary career has been everything. I've done everything, handyman of sorts. I've taught a little, yeah, a little bit of everything.
What's been your job like this week that you're still kind of working on?
I was a school teacher last year, and I taught again this year. And then with this whole coronavirus thing, they got me shut down. So we're pretty much done with that now.
Okay. And so you got your license like kind of before we knew about this coronavirus. How long have you had your license?
I think it's been over a month now.
Okay. And when did you start getting out there helping families?
Last week is when I got out at it.
Okay. So talk about how many families did you sit, how many appointments did you book? How many families did you sat down with? Oh,
he's got to get his
my paper over on the couch.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you had a food delivery coming in.
I wish.
Amazon.
I had 17 appointments since last week, and I sat down with 12 of them, and I helped 7 of them.
Nice job. Brand new, just getting started.
Yeah.
Now, how nervous were you when you went on that first appointment, Dion?
I think I called you. I was freaking out.
I don't need to know. I need everybody else that's listening to know.
I was kind of freaking out. It was a new experience. It wasn't something that I've ever done before, and it was awesome then after it was over, but it was pretty scary.
How are you feeling now that you've been out a week?
I'm feeling empowered. I feel like I can do anything.
Do you know, we measure premium. Do you know about how much premium you wrote from those 7 families you helped?
$4,800.
$4,800 in premium.
Nice job.
That's
not bad. So for someone that's getting started, hey, that means deposit their bank account. They might be seeing like, I'll say about $2,000 or close to it, plus or minus a little bit for somebody getting started as that business is getting issued. So nice job. Good job, buddy.
Hey, Dion, quick question. So you were not in the insurance business before the Alliance, right?
No,
didn't have
nothing
a
to do
license?
with it. Nope.
In terms of running your appointments and getting help while you're sitting with those families, did you feel like you had help? Did you have people helping you along, or were you out there on your own? Tell us a little bit about the help that you got.
That's something that scared me, is being on my own. And when I did the first 3, with being able to call Mike and ask him anything and not feel bad about it and not feel like I'm wasting his time, it made me feel like, that's why I feel empowered, like I can do anything, because anytime I had a question, I just call him up probably 20 times.
There you go.
I think you were in one appointment yesterday. I think I counted. I told somebody, I think you called me 10 times from one appointment yesterday.
Hey, Dion, keep that up, because we got somebody on this call that's going to come up here in a minute, and she calls all the time, like 15, 20, 30 times a day. I tell you what. So keep doing what you're doing. So for everybody out there, I just want you to know that you are not out there on your own. You do have help. It's a matter of you picking up the phone, reaching out, and getting the help. That's the key. Yeah. While you're in the home, while you're sitting with the family, and then also, other times that you need help. So that's big key. Way to go, Dion.
That's right.
Thank you.
Nice.
All right. So let's see. We got some other folks here. I believe we've got Katrina, Megan, Alfonso. All right. So Alfonso. I think I see Michelle in there too. You guys able to unmute and say hi?
Unmute your lines.
I got you. How's everybody doing?
There you go. Ooh, you got a pretty background. Where are you located?
We're down in the Miami, Sunshine State.
Sunshine State. Awesome.
All right. So Alfonso, Michelle, tell everybody who you like, a little bit about how you all got started, how long you've been with us.
Well, my name, everybody, is Alfonso Thomas, and this is my wife,
Michelle Thomas.
Great. And I got started with the Alliance about a little over a year now. And I was actually retired for 4 years from the school system here in Miami-Dade, and bored out of my mind. Wanted to do something, didn't want to work with anybody, didn't want to go to a 9-to-5 job. I said, nope, that's over with. And I was putting my resume out there on ZipRecruiter, and was invited to Doral Hotspot. And from that point, I went out there and went to a meeting. Didn't know what I was going to be expecting, and I got a chance to see Noelle, and she fired it up. I was so excited, man. I was like, sign me up right now. Sign me up right now. She said, oh. But I would just love the residual income.
Mm-hmm.
Hard, you get promoted, and you work, and you get paid for what you do. And
Tell us a little bit about what you've done the last week or so out there, Alfonso.
Well, this week, I went out and I actually saw about, I had 21, appointments. And out of those 21, I was able to sit with 6 right now. I'm still running some tomorrow. And I was able to do what we call telesale 2 for about 2,400. And then I ended up going, one-on-one with some clients, and I did about 3,000 in that. So I total out right now about 5,600. And I ran into a customer, which I'm going to see again tomorrow. And I have 651,000 on a green sheet for an annuity.
Woo!
That's big.
That's
big
good
time right there.
stuff.
That is big stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, Michelle, why don't you tell us what you're seeing with the Alliance and what you've been up to a little bit? Because you all are working this together, right? Kind of like how Mike and I do it.
Yeah. I work it part-time. Right now I'm working it full-time with him, supporting him as.
Oh, we lost y'all's audio. Michelle, did she knock the screen over? We're not sure what happened. All right, we'll wait for their audio to come back. We'll jump over. Oh, there we go.
All right.
We got your audio back.
So since a week ago Tuesday, I'm home now full-time, so I'm able to help Alfonso. And I've just seen great things. I'm really excited about what's happening now, and glad to see today that he's found something that he really likes and that he's doing really, really well at it. So it's exciting. So in the beginning, I was not a fan, as you know, but I've become a fan, and I'm just really excited for him. I really admire the two of you and, all of the work that you put in to make sure that all of us are set up for success, and we have the tools that we need to do this business well and to do this business right. So I really appreciate the two of you.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Hey, glad to
We're
have
proud of you guys. Proud of you guys. We know you guys are workers. You're out there getting stuff done. So thanks for being on the call.
Yes,
Mike,
Alfonso.
I had a very good week as a deposit this week, and I don't know if you want me to say.
Oh, yeah, bring it.
How much was deposited for bank account?
$2,500.
Woo!
$2,500. Not
For
bad.
this week.
This week. That's good stuff right there. Awesome. All right, proud of y'all. Hey, we're gonna jump over to Megan Wood, and just because she's got some good stuff happening. I see she's
Thank
like
you,
walking
guys.
around her
Thank
house.
you.
You're welcome.
Megan, you able to unmute your line?
Hey, how we doing?
Good. You
Hey,
keep
Megan.
walking around. Are you chasing your dog around your house?
I was making my son a snack.
Okay, gotcha. All right. How old's your son, Megan?
4. He's almost 5 now. He tells everybody he's 5, but he's
All right. Nearest birthday. So
right, exactly.
All right. That's insurance talk for those that don't know. All right. So Megan, tell everybody, where do you live and a little bit about what you were doing before you found us.
Okay, I live in Crawfordsville, Indiana, so small town. I was a waitress and bartender for 13 years. I had bought a house, and I was actually a lead. So I'm glad when you were talking about the leads and stuff, I was sitting here thinking, I am a lead. I bought a house. I filled out the mortgage protection lead to make sure my son would be taken care of when I was to pass away. And I had a woman come over and help me out, and she offered me a job. So that's kind of how I got started.
All right. And so did you, when you first got started, like, was you more full-time or more part-time in that first year?
Part-time.
Part-time. And so talk
Yep.
about what you saw as a restaurant worker at that point, or server and bartender. What did you do part-time, like from an income perspective, as a side hustle with us?
So I started out just on my days off. So I was off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays at first. And so I would just make a couple appointments, maybe like 1 or 2 appointments Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And so that's all I did. And I was able to save $20,000 in my bank account just by doing that.
How many months did it take you to do that?
In a year, I saved $20,000.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
You know that
I
there are
made
people
more.
that don't do that.
I made more, but I
How
saved
much you
that.
saved. That's what we're talking about, the part that she saved in her bank account.
Saved,
There's
yeah.
more beyond that.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So now let's talk. So then what happened? You saved that money up, and what was the epiphany, or as some people say, the aha moment that you had at the end of 2018 with that 20,000 saved up?
I'm thinking I am working way more at Applebee's, and I am making way more doing this with you guys at the Alliance. So why am I spending that much time away from my son and going into work every day at a waitress and bartending job when I could have this? So it's changed our lives. So I went from making 30,000 as a waitress and bartender for a year to making 100,000 with the Alliance. So.
Oh, and you told me you just had a meeting with your accountant yesterday.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell us how much they told you they had to pay, but what was the epiphany you had after
I
the
called
accountant
you
meeting?
instantly. I'm like, is this right?
I'm making more money.
I wasn't happy at the time. And then I talked to somebody and she's like, that's not bad. I'm like, what?
Now, here's the cool thing, because I know you had way more than that saved up in your bank account. So when you have to stroke that check to the IRS, it's going to hurt, but is it going to wipe you out?
No.
Why not?
I'll have plenty left over.
That's right.
So I've
She's
got
been working and saving. Good job. Good job.
You
All
want
right,
me to
now
tell them
let's
how much I got? You want me to tell them how much I got?
Yeah,
Okay,
let's
so
tell us how much
I've saved 55,000. So
This year, last year, for 2019,
yep.
saved 55,000. You've also been paying your bills and doing other things, right?
Right. And going on vacations. We took, 4 vacations,
That's awesome.
There we go.
Awesome.
All right, some big stuff happened. All right, now let's talk. As the world has changed a little bit, let's be real with people. So what's some of the things that's changed for you this week with your son being at home more?
You just wanna give the numbers? Or?
And well, I want not just the numbers, but how you've been conducting business. So talk a little bit about how you've done business and share the numbers for this last week, Megan.
So my son's not in preschool anymore, so I was able to do more things. Like when he was in preschool, I was running one appointment every day while he was in preschool, and because of the virus, they're not going to preschool, and it's also spring break. So I've been doing telesales, and I've been calling my prior clients. So far this week, I've sold 16 policies for prior clients, referrals. I did 1 new lead. So just being able to, like you were saying earlier, I mean, making a friend with your clients, they trust you. Like literally, you saw my video the other day. I was literally on the phone for 7 minutes and I sold 2 hospital indemnity plans, and I was only on there for 7 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, that was it. 7 minutes, I'm back there with my son. 7 minutes, back there with my son. So I've been kind of like, nobody likes change. So we're all having to adapt to that. And it's stressful at first, but I'm still going to survive. And, I was just thinking just the other day, and I put it on Band, that if I would have never had this opportunity, I would be in tears right now because I would not have a job. waitress bartending job. I just talked to somebody earlier today working at Applebee's. I'm like, what are you doing right now? Because they don't have jobs. They have kids and they don't have jobs. So I feel really fortunate and blessed that I can still pay my bills. I can still save money and I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
So
that's big. That's
huge.
massive. Appreciate your gratitude. Hey, keep it up, Megan. Thank you for
And
being
Megan
here.
has already qualified for the Thailand trip, right?
That's right. Already over 125,000 points this week. Did it in under 3 months. That's amazing. And so she's going to keep going out there.
I'm going
helping
for
families.
4. I'm going for 4.
All right.
Awesome. I know you're going to hit it. It's going to be amazing.
We love you. Thank you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
All right.
We
So
can
we
get
got-
Katrina.
We got one more here to do.
That's right. Katrina, if you can open up your video and share a little bit with us, that would be awesome. And unmute. There
Can
we
you
go.
hear me?
Yes, we can see you in here. You're
Tell us a little bit about how you got started with us and where you're located, Katrina.
So I'm in Polk County, Florida. For y'all who don't know where Polk County is, it's right in the middle of the state, close to Tampa, close to Orlando, and we've been kind of chilling out down here. A lot less cases in Central Florida of this coronavirus, so we're having a lot of fun. I was actually introduced, kind of like Megan. I filled out a form for mortgage protection. I, unlike Megan, did not buy mortgage protection. I did find myself a job though.
That's right.
Now you have it, right?
Of course I do, but I sold
You
it to
wrote your
myself.
own policy, personal
Step
use,
one.
right?
Step one.
Well, good. Tell us a little bit about you married, kids, and all that, so people can understand.
I
What you're-
have a husband. We've been married in May will be 19 years. His name is Les, and he is the jack of all trades in the house. He takes care of my kids when we go off. When I go off selling, I take him off on vacation sometimes, but you know, my kids are 7 and 12. I almost said 11. Seth just turned 12. They're Micah and Seth. And geez, I don't know what else to say. Oh, we have a big fat bunny. His name is Stewie.
There you go. And how did you get connected with us? You were a lead, and then what happened? You said you didn't buy from the agent that went over there, but what happened?
I didn't buy. I think I was just kind of confused and happy with what I had because I had a lot of insurance at work. You know, I had $600 and some odd thousand worth of insurance with my job at the time. So I wasn't really nervous. Funny thing, not really funny, haha, but strange is that I lost my job. So 4 or 5 months later, after I had just spent a lot more money on a house than I was used to paying, I had no job, very unexpectedly. So I was struggling. And I think for a couple of weeks, I kept trying to look and see what I was doing. I was a claims adjuster. So liability claims, slip and fall, car accidents, big truck accidents. I handled all of those things. So I was looking again for something in that area. And I was finding things and applying, but I just wasn't really feeling confident about it. And then all of a sudden I thought, maybe I just need to do something different. And I thought about sales and some things like that. I love people. I like talking to people. I used to get in trouble all the time at work for talking to people. So, my husband is the one who actually mentioned trying this out. He said, isn't that guy who came over to sell you the insurance? I mean, why don't you ask him what he does? And so I did. And the next day I found myself getting licensed with yet another insurance license. So that's pretty much how I started out. I'm grateful because my husband had given me the grace and the permission. He said, you know what, try this out. We have a little bit of money in the bank. Thankfully, he's a good saver. I am not. So I'm very blessed to have him to do that. So he said, just give it a year and try it out. What a year it was. You know, I learned so much, and I never knew I could earn so much money.
How long have you been with us, Katrina?
So I've been with the Alliance for just about 4 years, just a couple of months over, maybe 4 years. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And tell everyone a little bit about just this last week and what your income has been over the course of the 4 years.
My first year, it was 112,000. I think the second year was 147,000. And then it's been well over 150,000 the last 2 years. This year I'm tracking seriously over 200,000. I mean, and that's not, I'm not done adding to my repertoire.
In fact, I think I saw your deposits month or the quarter to date. I think I was looking at it. Have you looked to see where you're at for deposits so far year to date?
I think it's close to 55,000.
Yeah, so 55,000. So that would put you at a run rate for 220,000, and you're still building momentum this year. That's amazing.
I'm building a lot of momentum right now.
Well, talk a little bit about, since you're talking about building momentum in a crisis, talk a little bit about what your last week has looked like real quick as we wrap this up.
So last week I'm looking down at my numbers in case you're wondering what I'm doing here. Last week, I was working with a lot of clients that I have. So for those of you who are new, as you get going, you have more and more people who you call your clients. You've worked with them, you've helped them. So I've been working with a lot of my clients. I made 21 appointments. I sat with 11 of them. Some of them just forgot. Some of them were sick. Some of them were scared, which is fine. That's not a problem at all. I wrote 8 life apps, $7,350. And then I did 2 separate annuity apps for over $226,000. So annualized premium over 30,000 in 3 days. That was quite a week. And both of the annuities have been approved already and they're in transfer.
Nice
Awesome.
job.
Big stuff.
Nice job.
So we appreciate you guys taking the time out of your evenings with your family to share here on a Friday night.
Thank you all.
We are grateful to Andy Albright, founder of the Alliance, for giving us an opportunity. And we're hoping if you're here checking this out, you've got questions, book a follow-up time. Like as you're getting done, text her, hey, how do I get my question answered? How do I get started? How do I get a license? If you got questions, get those answered.
Get back with the person that invited you on this call. Ask more questions. And I mean, we've got families to help, so we need some help out there. And just think about the possibilities. Think about what you can do. You heard some of the stories here, Megan and Dion and Michelle and Alfonso, Katrina, how they got started. Just think about how you can get started, and we can make this thing happen all across the country. We are essential. We are an essential business. And we are authorized and deputized to go help families with life insurance and health insurance. So go get yours. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.